Oh man, I messed it up. I recorded this firmware update video live the way I like to do it, where I just click update, you see it in real time, and once the update is done, I tested everything I know to make sure that everything is working. But what happened is that I was using OBS on my PC, and then I start changing from G-Sync to on and off to test that OLED Motion Pro was working, because some people were reporting that after the update they cannot use the feature OLED Motion Pro. They have to use the CRU app and turn off auto low latency mode, and it might be the NVIDIA drivers, but it might be the update. So I was testing that and I do not have any issues. And what happened is that doing that make OBS crash. So I have the video here, but it is the audio is messed up and the video was interrupted. Man, it was a good video because I was talking about a lot of things that I have on my head, but yeah. Basically, I updated from the 033470 to the 033480, and I do not see any issues. So I still want to, you see, update in progress. I did it, but the video failed. And I have only one try. I like to do the videos one try because I think that that's as real as it gets. If I make a mistake, if I say something that's not correct, that's it. I'm just gonna put it out there, and I'm trying my best. But I feel that it is real. It's more real and it has more value, in my opinion. So what I was talking about in that video, when I was updating, is about my next TV. Okay, what is going to be my next TV? What are the specs? What is that I want? What is that I see that makes sense for my next TV. And I also talk about asynchronous reprojection. I'm gonna have a link in the description of this video to this demo. So let me tell you briefly. It's not the same as the first time, but yeah, let me tell you briefly. My next TV, I was talking about that it needs to be at 240 hertz. It needs to be 4K 240 hertz. And I was actually expecting this year to get 240 hertz OLED displays 4K that are 4K, because we have the 1440p gaming monitors. But I'm not going from 4K 48-inch to 27-inch 1440p. That's a huge downgrade. Okay, so I'm not gonna do that. So I was expecting 4K 240 hertz, and you might think, yeah, but HDMI 2.1 is up to 144 hertz. But of course, we can use display stream compression. We know these companies, they can use DSC. So 240 4K is possible with DSC, no problem whatsoever, with HDMI 2.1. So that's gonna be my next TV. It has to be an upgrade. It has to be an upgrade on the refresh rate. And not only that, I want that display to come with black frame insertion options. So I want that display to be able to do 480 hertz PWM, and ideally to give me the options to adjust the window size of the BFI. So if I want more motion clarity, I reduce the size and I lose more brightness, or if I want more brightness, I increase the size of the BFI. And I was explaining that trade-off between brightness and motion clarity, and yeah, in my next TV. But you get the idea. Okay, I'm not gonna get into the details. I might do a separate video about that. I am a little bit like, man, everything was everything was good, and then I messed it up because I didn't realize that OBS was gonna crash. But yeah. And then my point with this asynchronous reprojection demo is that this demo is asynchronous reprojection outside of VR. Okay, because this is a technology that has been out there for VR. Okay, And what this basically does is at any FPS, if you can get this demo, if you can get 30 FPS, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever FPS, the game is going to look like the maximum refresh rate of your display. So let's say you have a 500 hertz gaming monitor, this Asus gaming monitor that just came out. You have that monitor, and you can get in this game, 70 FPS or 100 or 120. It will give you 500 FPS all the time with perfect input lag. So you're going to get the best input lag possible for your system all the time. And depending on how high the frame rate is or how low it is, you're going to see more or less artifacts, basically. And the artifacts are like disocclusion artifacts. It's basically when you move to the right or to the left, we don't know what's behind the character. You might see some artifacts like this. So now the higher the FPS, the shorter is that artifact. And what I was talking about is that this is actually the future. And what NVIDIA is working on, this DLSS 4 for the 5090 or 6090, because they have to find a way to charge you for this. This is too good. After you try this demo, you're gonna scratch your head and like, how is that we don't have this right now? I need this for every single game right now. So they need to figure out a way to charge you for this. They're not gonna give you this for free. No way. So what NVIDIA is working on, I bet, is that they are working to fix these artifacts, these disocclusion artifacts, with AI. So then they can give it a name. They can give this an NVIDIA name, and they can charge you for it. And now you need the new optical flow accelerator from the 5090 to get this working. But it's gonna happen. So now, once this happens, is game over. Like, done. You can basically get the maximum FPS for your display. So let's say you get an 4K 1000 hertz display, which is going to happen and very soon. By 2030, we are supposed to get 1000 hertz displays. That's the roadmap. Now, that might not be 4K because of bandwidth limitations. It might be 1080p or even 1440p, but it's gonna happen soon. But about 2030, on the Blurbusters article, they say it's gonna happen by 2030. So after we get those displays, when I talk about 1000 hertz, people tell me, there's no way you're gonna be playing games at 1000 FPS. Yes, this is the way. This is how it's gonna happen with this asynchronous reprojection. So basically your GPU or your system, your CPU, GPU, is going to be able to give you like 100, render like 100 frames, let's say, real frames. And then NVIDIA might double or quadruple that frame rate using motion interpolation. But motion interpolation is going to add latency, so I think that this might be a better solution because there's no latency. Just fix the artifacts and that's it. You go from 100 FPS to 1000 with perfect input lag. So you get perfect motion clarity, no artifacts, perfect input lag. That's game over. That's how we're going to play at 4K 1000 FPS plus, okay? And even 8K. Because at 8K, we might be able to get 60 or 100 FPS soon, okay? So you can have an 8K 1000 hertz display. That's not gonna happen by 2030, but it might happen by 2040. We're gonna be alive for sure. So yeah, that's what I was talking about in that video, man. But the first time is always the best. I do my videos first try, no editing, no cuts, so everything is real. You know, I tell you what I have on my mind, and that's the way I like it. I feel that that has more value. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and post if you have any issues with the firmware update. Again, I tested everything I know. I have access to the service menu. I tested the access to the service menu actually. Let me show you here. I tested the firmware update. We move it to where I open the service menu. So I restarted the TV. That's after the firmware update. You see that TV was updated. I got the message. And then I tested the OLED Motion Pro. Let me move it forward. So I opened the service menu with the color control app. Let's see. Okay, here's the service menu. So what happened after the update, the TV, what happened after the update is that the TV had the Wi-Fi on, but it was not connected to my network. So I was trying to open the service menu with the color control app, and it was not working. And then I went to the Wi-Fi settings on the TV, then selected my Wi-Fi, and then immediately the service menu opened. So I have access to a service menu. I also have access to the HDMI signaling override menu. No problem. So yeah, I don't see any issues. And then I tested the colors and I tested the clipping on HDR, but the video was interrupted when I changed the G-Syncs, and I didn't know. I kept, with the video, and at the end I realized that the video was cut and interrupted, and the audio was messed up anyway. So yeah, the most important thing, I tested the firmware update. I don't see any issues. If you see any issues, post that in the comments. I will try to help you if I can. I know my people are also helping, and I really appreciate that. When I see my people that have been with me for a long time, and I see they are helping others, that really means a lot to me, and I remember that. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, if you have any issues. I will try my best to help you, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions.